my question for you guys really is, what are your collective perceptions of the way that aid is reported by journalists, and does foundation money compromise objectivity? Who wants to tackle that?
I'll say a few brief things about that. I mean, yeah. Let me answer that in a slightly roundabout way. So, in the last years, often when you go to some of these kind of places, and a few years ago in 2015, I lived in South Sudan, which is not in the film, obviously, and often if you wanted to get to a place, to visit, to report, you have no choice but to go with the UN or with an NGO. Simply, logistically, there was no other alternative. So increasingly, this is not, on one hand, inherently new, but it's become far more common. It's almost like the NGOization of journalism, that a lot of journalists will feel a little bit uncomfortable maybe if you did maybe want to be critical of NGO X. Maybe you wouldn't be that as keen to do it because you worry about losing access next time. And when it comes to, say, South Sudan, which is one of the worst humanitarian crises in the world, the only way to get around the country is through UN planes. It's the only way. There's no roads in the country. It's a complete basket case. And I know the UN has definitely excluded a lot of people, journalists who have been critical of the UN there, and there's a lot of reason to be critical of the UN there. That to me is an interesting question. I mean, my view is, yes, I've taken those UN flights because you have no choice, and have I been critical of the UN? Yes, sometimes. Have I sometimes held my words? I don't think I have. Maybe I've internalised it so much that I don't even realise. I don't think I have.